2020 changed the whole world. Remote work was always coming, it just sped it up by about 10 years. And now you've gone from working in an office 5 days a week to either none or maybe 1 or 2. On paper, it should be easier, right? You save hours on the commute, you have more control over your environment, but it didn't pan out that way, did it? The Journal of Occupation for Health found that 1 in 2 people gained weight after switching to remote work. So why is it so hard to lose weight as a woman who works remotely? Well, I've helped over 300 remote professional women lose weight and keep it off. And in this video, I'm going to show you the 3 biggest reasons for why it is harder and how to solve it. Okay, let's start with the 3 problems. Number 1, your time gets absorbed. It doesn't make sense, right? You'd think that without the commute, you would have all the time in the world. But, well, as we learned in physics, an empty vacuum always gets filled. I remember when I was a consultant, it seemed no matter how many implementations I'd done, there always seemed to be more work. And there was an expectation that if you didn't finish your work in work hours, you should be doing it in the evening or clocking on earlier the next day. I remember people starting to put meetings in my calendar for 8 AM when technically I don't start till 9, and that was just the norm. That never happened before 2020 when I was in the office full time. If someone put a meeting in my calendar at 8, well, they better expect me to take it sat in traffic. And most of the women I work with also have children, run households, they work global time zones, so have a lot of evening meetings. Time is a big bottleneck. Number 2, your energy gets drained. There's a certain type of exhaustion when you get to the end of a Wednesday, you've had back-to-back meetings all day, it's dark outside, and well, all you want to do is lie down on the sofa and grab a takeaway. Yes, you technically have plenty of time to do a 30-minute workout, a 15-minute walk, or make a healthy dinner from scratch, but you just don't have the energy. And number 3, most plans are miserable. In January, you try cutting out sugar, waking up earlier, doing a 30-minute YouTube workout, forcing yourself to maybe go to the gym in the evenings. But sooner or later, that remote lifestyle pulls you back in, and saying no to the kids' Kit Kats in the cupboard gets a little bit harder after week 2. And that extra 30 minutes of sleep in the morning would, well, be better than doing another morning workout, especially as it's deadline day today. And then you just end up in this vicious cycle where you'll start again Monday. All of these bottlenecks are valid, and you're not going to solve them with brute force, brute willpower, or motivation. You need to address the root causes directly. So the solution isn't to just try harder, it's to build a plan that actually factors in the constraints of remote work. And to show you how to solve this, I'm going to give you 3 real life examples from my clients, just so you can see how this is applied in the real world. So my client Helen, who works 50, 60-hour weeks as a managing director, and that's no exaggeration, by the way. Lena, who's a senior operations director in her 50s and was really struggling to find the energy even just to go for a walk when we first started. And then Mandy, who's another director, was trying all the things she'd seen online, skipping breakfast, Pilates, eating just salads, cutting out sugars, but just found it miserable and also wasn't seeing any results. So let's start with Helen. How did she lose a stone, 14 pounds, when she is flat out at work and doesn't have enough hours in the day as it is? Well, we needed to make sure what she was doing was going to get her results. We needed to find ways to buy back some time, and we needed to substitute with what she was doing already with better. So what we done, we started with 2 strength-based workouts a week, and in time upped it to 3. So that's 3 45-minute workouts a week. And if you watch my last video on YouTube, you'll see that's all you need. We also made sure Helen made the most out of the weekends. Helen done one of her workouts on the weekend, plus we started planning her meals ahead of the week ahead and prepping as much of them as she could over the weekend. People underestimate how much time this buys you back throughout the week. We also aim to be more active in the weekends, as it was really hard for her to stay active during the week. So for example, we set a different step goal on Saturday and Sunday. And the meals she was having, we just tweaked them slightly so she's not having to learn new recipes, but still could have her favorite meals with the right calories and protein amounts. There were some other tweaks we made here and there, but the bottom line is if you're rushed for time or busy, which is everyone this day and age, you need to become more efficient. Yes, I get spending an hour on Sunday to batch up your lunches for the week isn't what you want to be doing, or getting a 45-minute workout first thing on a Saturday is the last thing on your list. But you have to make the most out of every single hour of the week. Find ways to buy back your time. Make sure what you are doing directly correlates to your weight loss goal. If it doesn't, It's not in the plan. Okay, let's talk about Lena and how we solved the energy problem. First thing to note is there is going to be times in the day where you just have less energy than others. That's completely normal. But there are things you can do to improve this. Firstly, with Lena, we started small. You can't go into this thinking you're going to do 5 workouts a week, cut your calories down and just power through. Because, well, if it was that simple, you would have done it already. But here are some things we introduced into Lena's plan to improve her energy until she got to a place where, well, now she never misses a workout. By the way, these weren't all at once, so if you're going to try this, start with just 1 or 2. Firstly, we brought in an outside morning walk in direct sunlight. The sunlight in the morning helps your body's circadian rhythm, blood glucose, hormones, appetite, all of which are so important for your energy levels through the day. 2, we made sure her diet was structured in a way to still lose weight, but still keep her full of energy. We made changes to the timings of meals, timings of a high carb meal. We got rid of the cereal breakfast she was having and brought in some healthy fats instead. Big mistake I see people making is not aligning their nutrition to keep them full of energy. If you're tired by 2 a.m. and all you've had all day is a meal deal sandwich from the shop, I'm not surprised. So for you, don't cut out carbs, but for breakfast, make sure you're aiming for high protein, high fats, maybe some eggs and avocados as an example. And then, especially for lunches, try and make the food you are eating yourself. You'll be surprised at how much different a sandwich you've made yourself versus a sandwich you've had from the shop makes to your energy levels. But outside of sleep, your diet is the biggest thing that determines your energy. And then 3, when it comes to sleep, this is a big one because Lena was a terrible sleeper. Since turning 50, she was waking frequently throughout the night. She struggled to drop off at the end of the day. And well, she'd been told by doctors this is just normal, but we wanted her energy to improve, so we just couldn't accept that. So we started small. We started with cutting out caffeine after 3 p.m., keeping her bedtimes the same on the weekend as they were on the week to improve her sleep consistency. Little things, but if you want to lose weight, you need to take your sleep seriously. And then also, as she got fitter from the workouts we were doing, she started to just have more energy. A great thing about building lean muscle is that it helps regulate your blood sugar and your insulin, which massively impacts your energy. And again, it's so important after 40. But all of this didn't change overnight. This is something you're going to need to work on slowly and build up from. But if you stay consistent, your energy levels will start to improve. And then lastly, Mandy, who thought losing weight was just miserable. Now, I have a very simple philosophy when it comes to following a plan. If you can't do it for 5 years, don't do it for 5 minutes. You have to enjoy the workouts. You can't dread them. You need to look forward to the meals you get to eat. With Mandy and any of my clients, we make sure that every meal in the plan is something they look forward to. But I want to give you some value, so I'm going to give you 3 takeaways. Number 1, find a fakeaway version of your favorite takeaway. Pretty much anything you look forward to, you can find a lower calorie, higher protein, homemade version for yourself. Just go to YouTube or TikTok or wherever and just type in KFC fakeaway or Chinese fakeaway. You're going to get 80% of the taste value from it, but it's going to be a lot more sustainable, obviously a lot better for your fat loss goals. Number 2, stop doing high intensity workouts you dread just thinking about. Getting your heart rate through the roof and sweating loads has 0 correlation with fat loss. And 3, find ways to do the things you're already doing in a more active way. If you're going to meet a friend, instead of going for a drink, go for a walk. Instead of sitting down and watching a movie with the kids, take them to the park. These small things over time make a massive difference and make it 100 times more easier to stay on track. The secret to a plan working is consistency. And well, as we're all human, the easiest way to do that is to make it as enjoyable as possible. But working from home is here to stay. So the answer isn't waiting for life to calm down, waiting until you go back to the office, or trying another plan that you can only stick to for a week and a half. You need a system built around that remote lifestyle, just like Helen did, just like Lena did, just like Mandy did. So if you're a remote professional woman and you want help doing the same, there's a link in the description to book a free one-to-one consultation with me. If not, and you found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe. And YouTube thinks you should watch this video next.